Well, you wouldn't know it, but sometimes I'm a poet. Yeah, there is a place for poetry in nature, and there's a place for poetry in making forest connections, part of forest therapy. Welcome to Sam Outside. I'm Sam, and I'm outside. Part of the core practices in forest bathing involves something you do, a little ritual, if you will, before you begin. Right, so you've left your parking spot, or you've left the main path, and you're ready to begin your experience. Um, some people believe that there is a ritual that could take place, that should take place, to officially begin your experience. All right, you've maybe walked, you've prepared yourself, you've let other people know where you are, had a sip of water, and you're ready to begin. The threshold of connection for me sometimes involves some poetry. It's just something I like to do. And by crossing into a threshold, I literally mean a threshold, a doorway, if you will. Maybe it's two trees, or maybe it's a bridge, or maybe it's actually a formal sign, welcome to park or trail so and so. For me, uh, just something, maybe it's a little bit of a John Muir, all right? Into the forest I go to lose my body and find my soul. Um, when I first began practicing as a guide, I watched an interview um, about forest bathing with an actual forest therapy guide. And the journalist was also a poet. And at the end of that experience was so inspired by their first forest therapy walk that they wrote a poem. So it's by Melissa West. And the poem is called Hello Forest. It's one that I often use. Unfortunately, the laminated copy I carry in my pocket is on my desk. So here I go. Hello Forest by Melissa West. Hello Forest. Is now a good time? Are you up for a respectful visitor? Hello Forest. May I come in? If I promise to slow down my breathing. I know you are hurting, and so am I. May I share my burdens and the promise to hear yours? The way trusted friends listen to each other. It has taken me way too long, but I'm beginning to understand that we are both extremely sensitive and empathetic. So when I come to your door, I won't barge in, but pause and reflect on how I enter. So that is the poem that I will sometimes read aloud, even if I just read it. And it officially begins my walk. Before I do my sensory work, before I practice some breathing, it's just a little thing I do. I touch a tree as I pass in. It's the same tree over and over. I read Melissa West's poem, and I go from there. Most forest therapy practitioners will also have an exit ritual. And again, that would be the crossing the threshold of incorporation. Right, they're getting ready to enter the more than human world, or the human world, and leave the forest after a tea ceremony. So this poem I also like because it reminds me of my grandmother, who inspired this young forest practitioner. It's called Dream Catchers in the Sun, again by Melissa West. When I miss my grandma, I enter the forest and feel the strength of the living elders. Even in death, the woodland comforts, offering vitality and new possibility. Nursing logs breathe new life into young saplings, while the shadow of a fern dances over a decaying leaf. The softness of grandmother cedar cushions the impossibility of life's decision, while cedar branches swoop up in the most optimistic smiles, making dream catchers in the sun. That's how I feel. All right, I feel amazed. I feel um, lucky that I get to do what it is I do, that I afford the time to be able to do it. Find a way to bring poetry in. There's actually an invitation that involves just writing a haiku. That's a poem with 5, then 7, then 5 syllables. Keep it simple. Trees are beautiful. I appreciate forests. Nature is healing. That's my haiku. Hey, thanks for watching. Go outside. Bye.